Hi. Hi. How you been? Where you been? I found a bunch of stuff that I gotta show you. Are you ready to get started? In the U.S., we have zombie cicadas. And I'm gonna add a clip so you can see that, what I'm talking about. It's something all the time, people. Am I wrong? Anyway, I hope your day's going good. It looks like it's gonna rain on me, so I may have to keep moving locations, so you guys will be going with me. Okay? And another thing, with everything that's been going on in 2020, it can get you down and get you all depressed and, you know, just making you feel like, what's the point? Well, I got a few things I want to share with you. Also, have you heard, I don't know if you know this or not, but in the Bible it talks about fallen angels. Go with me, people. I gotta get up, I'm getting old. It talks about fallen angels. Well, I've got a little clip I'm going to show you. It kind of explains about the fallen angels and what they done. And also, in the book of Enoch, you can look it up and it'll tell you more about what the fallen angels done. What they actually done was, supposedly, they came down here and slept with women, human women. And they had, this was before the flood, and they had children with those angels. And those angels caused giants. That's why you hear about all these giants and stuff. You know, skeletons that you find, that these archaeologists find these humongous skeletons. I'm at Allendale Barn, say. I have to come over here because at least if it starts pouring down rain, I can finish my video inside the barn, right? Anyway. Oh, well, this walking wore me out. I'm telling you, it's good for you to walk, right? Looks like a storm's coming. Anyway, also, I found, I'm gonna sit here. I hope y'all can hear me. There's a waterfall over there. I hope you can hear me. Anyhow, they have evidence on a lot of these uptown, you know, high-class people, which I'm not gonna name. You know who all they are. But all that's coming to light now. You got to keep checking on the news. I'm here to remind you of that, because you'll see bits and pieces in the news, and I'll also show you clips. You know what I mean? Anyway, check this out, and I'll be right back.
Not spoken to Epstein in well over a decade and has never been to Little St. James Island, Epstein's ranch in New Mexico, or his residence in Florida.
Flight logs obtained indicate that former President Bill Clinton was on Epstein's private jet at least 26 times between 2001 and 2003.
Bill Clinton has been on that island. I saw Bill Clinton sitting with Jeffrey on the living room porch.
I remember having a dinner with Clinton. He was there and I never saw him do anything improper. I wish, you know, he would just come clean about, like, yeah, I was there, so what, who cares? I didn't see anything going on.
Also in the WikiLeaks email, there were images of John Podesta flashing hand symbols with the number 14, the number of pieces that Set chopped Osiris into, and a fish on his other hand, which is the animal that ate the phallic 14th piece of Osiris, his corpse, his male organ. These are symbols that occultists directly connect to necromantic rituals that occultists like Aleister Crowley, Jack Parsons, L. Ron Hubbard, Freemasons, and evidently Hillary staffers employ during sex magic ceremonies for one purpose: to raise or to summon Osiris, Apollo, the spirit that the Bible says will be incarnate within the Antichrist.
Whether it's seances in the White House from Lincoln to Reagan, maniacal rites of the elite, or even ritual-based observances sold to the public, America is truly
I had to go talk to the father. This father that we promised we'd find his son, and we believed we would, and I barely eked out the words, that we didn't find your son, but we did rescue 28 children. And at that point, his face lights up, and he says, wait, why are we crying? And I said, because I'm worried about the one we didn't get. And he said then the most profound thing I've ever heard. He said, if I have to give up my son so that these 28 kids can be rescued, that is a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Guardy's been moved around quite a bit.
I assure you that this case will continue on against anyone who was complicit with Epstein. Any co-conspirators should not rest easy. The victims deserve justice, and they will get it.
Diseased, corrupt temple down on your head. It's gonna be biblical.
Hey, you remember in my last video, I was talking about the sex traffickers and all that was going down. Here's some footage that you won't see on the news.
What is that like, looking into that kind of person's eyes?
It's horrifying, and this is why. Because I've got a smile in the face of evil. This is the table where we're going to do the negotiation.
Less than 24 hours after the operatives landed, the suspected traffickers arrived on the island, and the final deal with the undercover team began. 54 boys and girls aged 11 to 18 were ushered in for what had been billed as a sex party. They were given candy and drinks and told to wait in this small room.
This little 11-year-old boy, I remember, he asked one of my operatives if they could give him some cocaine or something. He said, they usually give me something because I'm really scared.
By the time the deal was done, the alleged traffickers were set to make $25,000.
When I first met Guesno at a restaurant, I asked him what was being done to find his son. And he answered my question with a question I wasn't expecting. He said, do you have children? And I said, yes, I do. He said, could you sleep at night knowing that one of your children's beds was empty and you not knowing where they were? And I said, of course not. And he said, well, that's been my reality. The only thing being done is I walk the streets at night. I work all day, and then I walk the streets at night, arbitrarily picking some neighborhood. The more crime-ridden, the better. The darker, the better. Flashlight in hand, and I pray to God that I'll hear my son cry. And that's what's being done to find him. And it was in that moment that I said, there's so much more we can do, and I promise you, I will never stop. Until I die, I will never stop looking for your son. What is scarier to you? A virus with a survivability rate of 99.9%? Or hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of children, based on reports, I could say maybe millions, of children being raped What's a scarier equation? I don't think that was even looked at by city councils or by governors' offices when they were considering all of this. And I will say this, if you're 70 years or older, for sure, you're in risk, you know, and other vulnerable people. But you could take a fraction of the trillions of dollars that were spent to bail out our businesses, a fraction of that, and those most vulnerable, you could take really, really good care of them, 100%. And so I just go to the kids every time there's a crisis, because the kids can't organize. The kids can't riot. They can't march. They can't get loud. They have no voice. And so it's easy to forget them.
Oklahoma Senator's new bill is raising some eyebrows. Senator Ralph Shorty introduced legislation today that would ban the use of aborted human fetuses in food. Now, Shorty says the bill is needed to raise public awareness. In his own research, he says he found companies that may use embryonic stem cells to develop flavors.
Here's another thing. They're recalling all onions from across the United States because they are said to contain salmonella. So if you have onions, you might want to put off eating them suckers for a while.
Thompson recalls all onions from the entire U.S. because of a link to salmonella Newport outbreak. Thompson International Inc. is recalling all of its onions, regardless of color, from all 50 states, similar to a recall in Canada. The U.S. recall is because of links to a salmonella Newport outbreak that has sickened a total of 510 people across both countries. Of the infected people, 396 are from 34 U.S. states. Of those for whom information is available, 59 have been admitted to hospitals. The first illness began on July 12th, but health officials expect more to be identified because of the lag time between illness onset and the confirmation required for the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention to add a patient to its tally. There were 114 confirmed infected people in Canada as of the 31st.
Hi, it's a beautiful day today. I'm telling you, I hope you're enjoying your day. You remember the Bill Gates guy? I know you know who I'm talking about, but with the vaccine or whatever. I would like to know, I mean, I don't get it with that dude. He just puts vaccines out. They come up with these vaccines, they just try them on people. I mean, I think people's messing with things they ought not be messing with, if you ask me. You know, messing with our, like, the mosquitoes and the insects and the environment, messing with the environment, messing with people's health and all that stuff. Y'all ever feel like it's a constant battle? Constant? This is the way I feel. Check this out.
Destroy this world. You die.
The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation has committed more than $350 million for the development of diagnostics, therapeutics, and vaccines in the fight against the coronavirus. Earlier today, I asked Bill Gates what he makes of the results coming out from those early vaccine trials.
We don't know if these vaccines will work, and you'd like it to be very safe in all the populations that you indicated for, no side effects, and then you'd like it to avoid the individual who gets the vaccine getting sick. some of those tests will get approved. Now, they won't be as accurate.
Yes. Would you send your children to public school in this current situation?
If a school is being careful, then yes.
To a debunked claim that he wants to use a vaccine to implant microchips.
We are in this really huge secular transition away from degrees towards skills. It no longer matters where you went to school, what you did. Don't tell me you have an MBA. It's irrelevant. It's useless. Who gives a shit?
There is a such thing as common sense and book sense. And there's some people that have book sense and some people have common sense. If you put somebody that's got a degree into a factory and they go to work, they are more than likely going to end up hurt if they're like working on machinery or whatever. And you may have a lot of knowledge about how the machine runs, but you don't know how to run it. That's the difference in being book smart, you know, and having common sense, right? Anyway, I've had a lot of people that's, you know, some of my friends that we've talked to where we talk about the Bible and stuff. Anyway, a lot of them, there's confusion about in the book of Revelations where it talks about Jesus is coming, you know, the rapture, and then it talks about the second coming. So I put together some videos here for you to watch, you know, and I do believe that we are close to living in the end times. I mean, you know, just the way things seem, and it can get you down. We can't let it get us down, people. No matter how hard it is, you got to try to keep your head up, okay? Look around you, enjoy your environment. It's just like right now. Let me give you an example. A lot of people don't understand this, and I'm going to try and put it where you can understand it, if I can, okay? It's just like air, wind. Okay, you can say wind's blowing my hair, right? Well, look at it this way. You can't see the wind, but you know it's there. You can feel the wind. You can't catch the wind, you know. And that's the same like with Jesus and with God. And just because you write something down on paper, that don't make it true. But, like I said before, you can have book sense and no common sense. Stop and look at our planet. If our planet moved so many inches to the left, we would all freeze to death. It would turn into a solid block of ice, people. It's just so precise the way things were put together. There has to be a higher source. You know, even scientists are, you know, they flip out over stuff like that. And I hope you can hear me because the way the wind blows, sometimes my volume acts retarded. But anyway, I'm going to put some videos on here. And a lot of things you might know, a lot of things you might not know. But I found them pretty interesting. And I have also found out a lot of the problems that we face, we created. And life is a learning process. If you're going through a trial or you're going through something right now that's really hard for you to handle, when you come out on the other side, you'll be able to turn around and look and say, oh, okay, I get it now, you know. But these videos I put together, I hope they give you encouragement. And a lot of things that I've posted are some things that, like about the political thing. I put them on here because they won't show you that kind of stuff on the news. They're too busy focusing on Trump and Biden when there's serious stuff going down. Really. The sex trafficking thing with the kids is the major thing. There's been so many children, women and children, that has been rescued from that. And they're not talking about it on the news. And it really makes me mad, but this stuff is really going down, people. I don't just put stuff on here, crazy crap. I put stuff on here that I've come across, and I'm like, well, people need to know that, you know. Anyway, check some of my videos out, and I'll be right back.
And finally tonight, zombie cicadas. Just what we need in 2020, y'all. Have been spotted in the United States, and we are officially creeped out. Dude, I don't even know what to say. As if the threat of murder hornets and mosquito-borne illnesses weren't enough, now zombie cicadas have arrived in the U.S., and we've never been more excited to use our canopy chairs with bug guard and hide from this savage insect community. According to CBS News, zombie cicadas have been spotted in West Virginia. Fortunately, these mutant critters appear harmless to humans, they say. Yet the process in which zombie cicadas infect others is quite bizarre. Unlike your average noisy chirping cicadas, these zombie cicadas are infected with a fungus called Massospora that basically eats away at their mind and body.
Hell no, to the no, no, no. Hell to the no, hell to the no, to the no, no, no.
Oh, God. Biden campaign says he's so close to a VP pick that he can smell her. Why? Why would you say that? Seriously, how do you defend that? How do you defend that?
See? What'd I tell you? A retarded pedophile.
Oh my God, I just got sent the craziest thing. I didn't know this was happening because nobody fucking is covering it. So read this for yourself. I'm just gonna highlight a couple things, okay? President Trump over the last week did the following, but you probably won't hear about it from the news. He made vaccines voluntary, not mandatory. Military will check purity and distribute vaccines. He also canceled Bill Gates' project known as ID 2020. Opened a complaint platform to report censorship on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Executive order to reopen states. Governors like Jay Inslee, who refuse to reopen, will be sued. Signed an executive order for the White House to take over all electrical grids. This man doing his job, though. I can't argue with that.
Hey, they've decided that they're going to mow the grounds. So I guess I'm going to get off here and I'm going to go meet my son at the park to hang out, my youngest son. Anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Enjoy the rest of the video that I'm adding for you. There's a lot of stuff that, like I said before, that you don't see on TV, I'm going to put on here. Things you might have missed, you know, or whatever. But just know that Jesus loves you, and I love you. Everything's going to be okay, people. It will. We just got to stick together. And put out light. All goodness comes back to you. But make no mistake, all badness does too. Anyway, I love you. Check out the rest of the video, and I'll talk to you soon, okay? Peace, baby.
40 years ago, because history of Egypt is roughly 3,000 years BC, but not 11,000 years BC. They disagree with Herodotus, but I suggest Herodotus is right, and we are wrong. The pyramid must be much, much older, was constructed before the Great Flood by a technology which Enoch had from the extraterrestrials. The planning, the engineering planning came from the extraterrestrials. Some of the tools came from the extraterrestrials. The dirty work was done by us, by the humans. In my opinion, the pyramid was a kind of treasure. A treasure created before the Great Flood, for the humans after the Great Flood, for us. Again, in this connection, I have to come back to Enoch. Enoch is the seventh patriarch before the Great Flood. Enoch learned the language.
We know from ancient legend of the books of Enoch that there was a group of angels who descended to earth in violation of divine law. They introduced to humanity ways, means, knowledge, which we would understand today as science and technology. These angels were in human form. They were called in Hebrew Ishim, which means men. They looked just like us.
The fallen angels were giants. They were at least 10 feet tall, very striking to look at, enormous eyes, and no wings.
We know that fallen angels were at one point angelic beings who were on God's side. And scripture shows that angelic beings have a special type of body, a spiritual body. What is a spiritual body? A spiritual body is a type of body that can not only exist in the physical world, but can also interact with the spiritual world. Fallen angels have that angelic body, and the angelic body is really described as an interdimensional type of existence. For example, if you had an interdimensional body, you would be able to move in and out of dimensions and even through portals to traverse the universe and even beyond.
To Antarctica, that one of the first things they discovered was an entrance into a hollow earth civilization that was populated by very, very advanced beings.
Admiral Byrd made a lot of unusual statements, including talking about what he called a new kind of craft that could fly from pole to pole.
Is it possible that entrances to another world can be found at the Earth's poles? And if so, did Admiral Byrd actually pass through one of them? According to some ancient astronaut theorists, such gateways do exist. But rather than leading to inner Earth, they may be portals to another dimension. But whether an other Earth exists, what would its discovery mean for the future of humanity?
And so humans became at that point themselves a hybrid, which had a great infusion, I would suggest, of what I would call Archon genetics, symbolically the serpent in the Garden of Eden.
And one suggestion is that the whole idea of the Garden of Eden was nothing else but some type of a lab that was run by extraterrestrials in which we were ultimately created.
Are human beings really the product of genetic manipulation by extraterrestrial visitors? And were our ancestors some form of reptilian human hybrid? Many ancient astronaut theorists say yes, and they believe that reptilian humanoids not only existed on our planet tens of thousands of years ago, but that they are alive and well and living among us to this day.
The second angel sounded his trumpet, and something like a huge mountain all ablaze was thrown into the sea. A third of the sea turned into blood, a third of the living creatures in the sea died, and a third of the ships were destroyed. The magnitude of this impact will also send waves roaring into the coastlines, massively affecting coastal cities, possibly wiping them off the map.
Hey everybody, Greg Laurie here with a few more words about the rapture. Sometimes people get confused about the rapture and the second coming. Let me simplify. In the rapture of the church, well, he's coming for the church. In the second coming, he's returning with the church. In the rapture, he comes as a thief in the night. In the second coming, every eye will see him. In the rapture, he comes before judgment. In the second coming, he returns with judgment. The second coming will happen at the end of the Great Tribulation period. The rapture, that could happen at any moment. The Bible says in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, we'll be caught up to meet the Lord and we'll be changed. That can happen today or tomorrow. So be ready for the Lord's return. The Bible says when you see these things begin to happen, look up, for your redemption is drawing near.
I know you're tired. I know you're broken. And it feels like you can't take anymore. That you have come to the end of yourself. But all of this means one thing. That you are a survivor.
greatest weakness, the hurt, the pain, the betrayal, the feeling that you get when you wake up and you are inundated with so much responsibility. Feels like you can't breathe. Paralyzed by the pain of life. I can only imagine what it's been like to be you. But I'll tell you this, there is a switch, and at any moment in life, you can turn that switch from surviving to winning. Because ultimately, survival is an illusion. There's only two types of people in this world. There's people who lose, and there's people who win. And it's hard to be a loser, it is hard to be a winner. Today I want you to make a decision to flip the switch inside of you from surviving to winning. It's time to win. See, the human being is the highest order of creation on earth. And one thing I am crystal clear about is that at any moment in your life, you can come across a speech or a piece of information. And if that information is applied, that revelation, it can forever alter the fabric of your existence.
And worthy, you are generating wealth. The moment you're empowered and feel it, you're beginning to step towards your success. The moment you start feeling whole, your healing begins. And when you love yourself and you love all of life, you'll create an equal. And now you're causing an effect. And I think that's the difference between living as a victim in your world, saying, I am this way because of this person or that thing or this experience. They made me think and feel this way. When you switch that around, you become a creator of your world, and you start saying, my thinking and my feeling is changing an outcome in my life. And now, that's a whole different game, and we start believing more that we're creators of reality.
As your quick brain challenge, or quick challenge if you will, imagine this. Imagine you have a thought experiment where you did this every single day if you're willing. What if the only things in your life tomorrow are the things you express gratitude for today?
What's stopping you? Are you too tired? Didn't get enough sleep? Don't have enough energy? Don't have enough time? Is that what's stopping you right now? Don't have enough money? Is that the thing? Or is the thing that's stopping you, you?
Excuses sound best to the person that's making them up. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Get off the pity potty. Telling everybody your sad and sob stories, trying to get people to show up to your pity potties and your pity parades. If you ever see me in a Rolls Royce, a 6 or 7 star hotel, living my life to the fullest, don't get jealous of me, because I worked my ass off to get it. Nobody handed me nothing.